Ready?
I think so. It's recording. Hi.
Hi.
My name's Eoin Macken.
My name is Tom Hopper.
And we are doing a little
Q&A.
Q&A. Is it called a Q&A?
Is it Q&A?
Yeah. We're doing a very chilled out Q&A session for all you people who helped back our film. I'm going to read off some questions.
Have any come through yet? Are we even popular enough to get questions?
I bet two.
Hey!
2 questions, yes. So we're going to answer a few of those, and then obviously we're filming it, and then we're going to send it to you.
Okay, so we've got a question.
Yeah, we do. Hang on. I got a question. So the first question for
you can ask me this one.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. My question is from Chelsea M.
Hi, Chelsea M.
Tom and Owen and Rupert. Rupert was meant to do this, but he's actually on a ferry to Manly in the waves.
He ran away.
Yeah.
I think he got scared of Sydney. We were going to do the bridge climb today, and I think he wasn't keen. He's very scared and ran away.
He's too tall. He'd fall off.
He's too tall. I'm taller than him. What's going to happen to me?
You're kind of heavy and stout.
Oh, okay. I can take the wind.
Yeah, you're like that thing about that thing on the internet with the guy with the 10 stone balls.
10 stone balls? Yeah. What have you been watching?
It was on the Twitter, forget about it. Don't worry about it.
Rupert's like a piece of floss. He'll just do that in the wind.
This bit's going to be cut out of the interview. Editing.
Okay.
Tom and Owen, you recently spent some time... You can read if you want.
Okay. Tom and Owen and Rupert, in brackets. You have recently spent some time down under in Australia, here right now. What would your thoughts be of showcasing cold at the Adelaide Film Festival? I don't know a huge amount about the Adelaide Film Festival.
You don't know a huge amount about film festivals in general?
In general, I'm pretty low on information on film festivals. Owen,
I think that's actually a really good idea, because
Yeah.
I'd like to get it into some Australian film festivals, and now you've sent me the link, and I'm going to forward that to my link thing.
So, Chelsea B, is it?
Chelsea M.
Chelsea M.
You have given us, if this gets into Adelaide, it's all because of you.
Got this lovely link you've given us here.
If you want to pay for the entry fee as well, that would make it entirely your fault thing.
That's what we're looking for you.
Anyway, Christine Labour. Okay, my question for the cold Q&A is, in respect to cold, you essentially wear 3 hats with so many constraints, time, budget, people. Where are you the hardest, most critical on yourself as a writer asking if the script is good enough, as a director wanting to keep the vision of the film intact, or as an actor trying to give the best performance possible? You may as well leave for this question. Fact,
Yeah,
I should got you to ask this.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, to be honest, actually, I'm going to flip it on you. How did you find acting with me while I was also directing you on my script? That's it. I never asked that before.
Okay. So...
Well, I usually do listen to you this, obviously.
Yeah, that's good. It's... One thing I noticed with Owen is he's constantly thinking of things all the time, and that's incredibly hard to do when you're acting and trying to direct at the same time, because as a director you have to have an overall vision of a film, and I think to do that as well as act is quite a skill to have, and I was very impressed actually with how he was able to do that. I'd only ever worked with Owen as an actor, so to see him jumping in and out, you know, in front of the camera, behind the camera, blah blah blah, looking at playback and stuff and doing all that is quite an impressive thing to watch. Not to mention the fact that he's the writer as well, so he obviously has his own ideas, and he's always coming to me, which I enjoyed, was he was coming to me for my own ideas on the character, on the scene, or what we feel the scene should be doing, how it should be being told, and in that way it was great to have that collaboration with him.
What we have to understand is that the reason, I mean, working with Tom was easy. I mean, partly because the idea for the film was inspired by wanting to work with Tom, by writing a part for Tom. But also, all the people in the film were people I'd actually worked with before, who I knew what they were like, and I was friendly with them, so it's very easy. And like all the scenes with Tom, we always spoke about them for a few minutes beforehand or the day before, and we worked around them. So it wasn't me telling Tom we're not doing this. It was very much a collaborative process of, well, we think the scene, I want this is the way the scene should be, and Tom would have his ideas on how the scene should be, and then we work it out that way. So it was actually very easy. So in terms of it freed us as actors because we played the scene the way we both saw it being acted, and that's how I kind of basically let it be directed, as it were, because I knew where I wanted it to go from a visual point of view, but it was important that the scene made sense to Tom, and I was able to just let Tom do his thing. I mean, if I thought that something was, and he'd do the same to me, I'd say to him, I'd ask him what he thought of my performance on occasion, and whether or not we thought it was real. But in general, because when you act with somebody you trust who's actually good, in my opinion, you can tell if you have a good dynamic with somebody acting, and we knew if the scene was working because we knew if it was believable to us. And if it was believable to us, and it was believable to where we thought the character should be and we're going to go, well then it made sense.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it took care of itself in terms of, from a visual point of view and from the flow, and that made it easy. I'm going to check the camera's still working. You sit there and look pretty for a second. Yes, it's still working.
Jackpot.
Thank God. I'm going to stop it real quick. Start it again to make sure it's still working. Okay, that was a long question.
Next question.
I'm knackered after that.
Check it out.
Oh, and also, where did you find overalls big enough for Tom to wear? He's not that
Overalls.
big.
Overalls.
He's not that big.
I don't even wear overalls. I wear waders.
Yeah.
I wear waders, and the waders were down to the highest point on the strap, so
You're not that big. There's a lot of people bigger than you.
Yeah, like some rugby players I met the other night.
Like some rugby players.
And they feel like Frodo.
Yeah, they are actually quite big.
Good
Okay,
boys.
from Alexandra. Yada yada. Glad you finished filming. Look forward to seeing it. I'm sure it'll be great. It will be great. Question. Do you know about Merlin fans meeting in Pierre France that will happen in August, and what do you think of it, and will any of you join us?
Okay. I didn't know about the meeting in Pierre France.
That's what it says here. That's quite cool. I heard rumours that every now and again people said you guys would meet. I'll tell you what I think is quite cool, is that it seems that conventions and meeting in Pierre France and stuff, that a lot of Merlin fans and people have made friends out of it, which I think is great. So
Very
the fact
cool.
that you guys have made friends and actually going to go on holidays to Pierre France, I think is wicked. So fair play to them.
Great. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it for.
Well, we didn't get. Did you get an invite?
I didn't get an invite.
Didn't get an
to be
invite.
honest, so I can't make it if I'm not invited.
Yeah.
I got a
Just
couple of
says
weddings in August as well. I think it's gonna be a tough time for me.
It also says vaguely happen in August, and I don't want to hang out in Pierre France for a month.
Yeah, it's quite a long time. There's not a huge. I'm into my food, and there's not a huge amount of food in Pierre France.
Been in Pierre France a lot. I'm not gonna. But we hang out in Pierre France for a month,
Little bit.
just in case someone turns up.
Could just hang out there for a little while. Who knows?
Well, this one is from Fallon Princevali.
Hi, Fallon.
Hi Fallon. Hopefully Cole will make its way to Film Festival in NYC. I would hope so too, with Rebecca ideally.
That would be good.
The both of you seem to get along. You can read it.
Okay. Here's my question. The both of you seem to get along great and always had really good chemistry on Merlin that shone through your performances. Keeping in mind that Owen directed Tom and Tom had to receive that direction during Cole, is it easier or harder working with close friends? Good
Kind of
question.
sort of answered that.
We have sort of answered that. I suppose being a close friend, though, that's a different thing, isn't it?
We're
to
not,
when you're directing
we're not
and
close
acting.
friends. We're not close friends. We were close friends
Acquaintances.
before we made the film.
And then the friendship was tested. It is hard actually, because when you're working with each other, you get under certain stresses, and we had a couple of times when we were filming Cole where it was hard because it does put pressure on your friendship, and that for me was probably one of the hardest things about filming Cole, because Owen's my mate, and when you have to deal with stuff that you are, it's work related, your friendship can be tested.
Really?
But the same.
Our friendship was tested?
Well, not friendship was tested, but
You
we had
just opened up
moments.
a can of worms here, because I thought Tom had a great time, but obviously not. I'm like, hang on a second, whoa.
So, for me, it was tested. Owen thought this is a normal friendship. No, this was. It is hard because you do have times where you have to separate your friendship from your work relationship, and I think we were able to do that pretty well because as soon as filming had finished, it was like boom, we just went back to being mates.
Well, definitely the second block. The first block,
Yeah.
which was before we did the Indiegogo campaign, and before we knew if the film was going to work, and it was like 9 days intense. Tom had a harder character to do than me. I mean, I almost wrote the character to make it easy for me to be able to also direct at the same time. If I was playing the character Tom was playing, I couldn't have also done everything else. Tom had a much more difficult character to figure out. from an acting and a character arc point of view. And I think there's definitely the first few days it was tough on him because we were trying to do 4 or 5 scenes a day, and some days we did like 14 pages, and I think one day we did 4 scenes with the two of us, and it was, I mean, then we had a 4 or 5 hours sleep each night, and so there's sometimes when I think there's 2 days when I was hardly in, when it was like Tom and Rebecca, who's the girl, and Tom had all these scenes with her, and yeah, we had 2.5 hours max to actually do each scene. And there was a lot of pressure on Tom that if the scene wasn't quite working, I'm trying to give him direction on it. And there was only 1 or 2 occasions at one time with the water when it just wasn't, the scene just wasn't quite working. It was the only time I think where a scene wasn't quite working, and that's where it got a bit stressful because also you've no time to.
That's the thing. I mean, the lack of time, you start stressing out because you think if the scene isn't working, we have no time to go. Okay, well we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to get it done. You've got to make it work. You know, it's got to try and make the film. And that can become quite stressful, yeah.
And you hadn't slept. Or eaten,
yeah, I mean, none of us
or eaten properly. And it was after day 7. Day 7 was the only time we had a bit of a tiff, and it lasted for maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Tom fucked off, and then I went off, and then we had lunch, and then everything was fine.
Job done.
And it was really sunny, and we pretty much got suntans.
Yeah.
So it was fine. So
all good.
Because it's the best way to have a row, actually.
Yeah.
Get a suntan and have a chicken sandwich straight afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got more here. From Mandy Ward.
Hi, Mandy.
Hi, Mandy. Oh, it's a picture of her and Rupert. Oh, that's quite sweet. That's her profile.
Ooh, fan of Rupert, are you, Mandy?
Yeah, you weren't answering your question now. Oh, she maybe thought Rupert would do that.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Sorry, he's not here. Okay, well, if you're still interested, Mandy, your question is, what's next for you? Are you planning a new film, acting, or just relaxing a while?
You're planning a new film, acting, and just relaxing?
Just relaxing, maybe all 3.
A bit of a
planning a film, relaxing, acting.
What's next for you? No, okay.
So,
we would definitely make another film together.
We would definitely do that, yeah.
And we will do that. Not this year.
We've both been fortunate enough to get jobs since Merlin that it's going to take a fair amount of our time. So that's going to unfortunately stop us making a film this year. But hopefully at some point we'll go into the planning to make another film together.
Yeah, because there's definitely 1 or 2 that I want to make next, and I want to have Tom in some shape or form. And there's a couple of special extra parts in one of the films, and Tom would be great saying a line or 2. There's actually.
Well, I've done that in Berlin. Come on.
No, there's this great part as a gay hotel concierge.
I've done that as well.
The gay hotel concierge. You play that part.
Well, I played a gay dance
coach
choreographer. Yeah.
They don't know. I've not released the cookies yet.
Oh, you guys have got to see the cookies.
Yeah, it's on the trailer, isn't it?
It's special.
Maybe that can be the perks.
If anyone ever thought I wasn't versatile as an actor, I'm just going to prove you all wrong.
You know what I love about you? It's the fact that you're very funny in it, but it's actually great that you're like, I want people to see this.
Yeah.
I'll just put out those
Why
scenes.
not?
Thank you, Mandy. Oh God, this is loads of. Okay. How about Colleen Bartkus?
Bartkus. Sounds like someone off 300 or something. Colleen Bartkus.
What film festivals outside of Europe are you hoping to have Cold shown at? I have had you saw Parked and Charlie Casanova at the Los Angeles Irish Film Festival. Yes, they were. To be honest, I would love to have Cold and Los Angeles Irish Film Festival. I remember when Charlie Casanova did a good festival in LA.
Yeah, so I hear.
And I remember when Charlie Casanova was there last year, where it was a couple of months ago, and I would like to have Cold there because it looks like a lot of fun. So we will try and get it into that festival. We don't know yet after Galway because we're only just working out our festival submission process. As you can see, we're just doing perks now. This all takes a lot of time and effort, and I wish I had like 45 PAs.
Okay, hi Tom and Owen. Great news about the film, so glad it turned out so well.
Say that question again because I'm going to stop it. We're back.
Hello. This next question is from Holly Clark. Hi Holly. Your question is, hi Tom and Owen, great news about the film, so glad it turned out so well. My question is, obviously, without giving the game away, which scene do you think is your character's most important and why? Good question.
This might be a point where we should stop the camera, have a coffee,
Have a
think about it,
it.
and then come back and like a time snap.
Yeah. That's a big question.
I know one that would be.
For me or you?
For you, be that the one where the light turned off. Remember when we're in the forest?
Yeah, I mean it's an important scene. It depends on which way you look at it. It's an important scene.
Well,
from a character's
from a writing and directing point of view, that was the most important scene.
Yeah, I mean, for an actor's point of view, that was probably the most important scene that I had to, get the performance out and stuff. I suppose there's it's hard to say without giving the game away. To be honest, I don't want to give too much away because there are certain twists and turns in the film. That
so basically, we're not going to answer your question.
We can't really answer the question without giving too much away.
We're just going to bollock on for 5 minutes.
So
good question though.
But it's a good question.
Good question.
And I'll gladly answer it again when you've seen the film.
But good question.
Very good question. Anna Gibbons. My question is a very, very serious one and must be answered with the utmost seriousness. If you had to be any kitchen utensil, which would you be and why? What do you mean that's not a proper question? Okay, would you rather be attacked by 20 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
That's actually a good question. Well, if you think about it.
Good question.
Well, it is a good question because a giant duck or 20 duck-sized horses, and you do get many horses.
I'd like to see 20 duck-sized horses. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. But also a giant duck.
And I'd also like to see a giant duck.
If I saw a giant...
I'd probably be more fearful of a giant duck, so I'd probably prefer to be attacked by 20 duck-sized horses.
I prefer to be attacked because then you can just do this.
Ducks can be a bit hacky,
all the horses are running around, you'd be like, yo guys.
Yeah. Exactly, you can just sort of get up on the chair.
Yeah, they'd just be kind of jumping up
and pat them.
Yeah, pat them. Just stand on them like that. Boom, there's 2 dead.
Flick them occasionally.
Yeah. The giant duck is
that's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's like Godzilla in a duck.
Okay, how do we go to the next one?
Technology, Tom.
I know.
Tom was great with playback. Sarah Keb? K-E.
It's a weird
Sarah
Keb, let's go with that.
John B. What was the most impressive moment you've ever experienced with Merlin fans? Mine would be the first time I was in France, and then there was like suddenly all these people there acted like I was important, and they wanted to say hi, and I was like, wow, this is actually a really cool show, and this is really, I wasn't expecting that, because when I first turned up in France, suddenly all these people.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is actually much cooler than I thought it was.
Yeah, I think that's definitely up there, when you go to France and you see all those people. I think for me, for me personally, I came to Australia last November on my own, and I was supposed to come with Rupert and Owen, and then they weren't able to make it. So I came on my own, and I think for me it was the most overwhelming thing that many people. I walked into a Q&A and there was hundreds and hundreds of people there wanting to hear what I had to say about the show.
I heard there was 10.
Come on, it's exaggerated. But I was quite surprised.
I totally interrupted you. Sorry, man.
It was pretty overwhelming to see all those people wanting to hear my answers to questions on Merlin, considering I probably spoke more in the Q&A than I did in the show.
You're never going to let that go, are you?
Well, I mean, come on, it was harsh, wasn't it?
It was actually.
I had plenty to say.
It was actually very harsh, actually, the way they did that. And I was like, and they did this thing last year where they'd sometimes just swap lines between us. I'm like, oh, Percival can say that line, Gwaine can say that one. We were like, really? That makes no sense for our characters, but whatever. Anyway, we won't go there. Because I'll get in trouble again. You'll be fine, I'll get in trouble. Because you're just sitting there going, I'm not saying a word, and I'll bollock on.
Keep you stubborn.
Sarah Poyser, congratulations on everything you've achieved so far. Hopefully I'll be able to attend, blah, 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 blah. You got kids, Colin, Tempest. Would you consider making a Hot Men of Camelot calendar with some of the other guys? A photo of Tom in this month's Merlin calendar. Do you know, and I forgive you the shallowness of that question, no one else would do it. I'd do it, Tom would do it, because Tom's already appeared half naked everywhere, so have I. Rupert would do it. I don't think the rest of the guys would do it. And also, who would take the money and the proceeds? That seems like that. How are we going to organise a photographer to go, hey, matey photographer, would you photograph us naked?
Tough call.
Good question.
Lydian? Is it Lydian?
Lydian Ferrand.
Lydian Ferrand.
It's French.
Hi, Owen. Oh, well, this is a long question. I was going to come to your words.
Christ. Yeah, this is a good long question, so we're going to see if we can just get straight to the question, but I don't think there's a question.
There's no question.
Okay, I will get back to your really long email because that's a good email, and I do remember your Indiegogo video and the French subtitles, and I do appreciate that. Remember that. So, if you need Cole to be subtitled in French, yes, I will consider you for the job. Yes, we will, because you've asked.
Thanks very much. Is that?
That's the whole question.
That's it? Okay, good.
5 pages, yeah. Michael Carroll, thank you for your prayers. Thank you.
Dear Fitz. Boy. Let's just see. What are they? The chances.
What are they? Oh, the ties. Oh, the ties. Oh, hello, darling. How are you?
So someone has done.
Oh, that's Dear Fitz. She was at the Comic Con.
These ties.
Yeah.
I wasn't at that one though.
Oh, you weren't there.
Well, I probably wouldn't wear a tie with myself.
Oh, will my friends ever get the chance to see you wearing and working these ties?
I think we should wear each other's.
Well, she made a pun on thighs, like, so that's going to be awkward if you say let's wear each other's thighs.
Okay, let's not do that.
It sounds a bit dirty.
Anya Barwold. Barwold?
From Berlin.
I agree. From
Berlin.
From Berlin.
Sorry. I've been in Berlin. I was there last year.
We haven't seen. This could be interesting. We haven't seen Tom really acting. In fact, most times we have only seen his muscles acting. Not that I didn't like it, but I hope we see another side to Tom in Cold. I hope so too. So, Owen, could you describe how Tom is acting?
Do you know what the thing is, right? Genuinely, I think Tom is one of the top 3 or 4 actors I've ever worked with, ever.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Now I feel really awkward now I can't.
No, carry on, please, mate.
Last I was looking out the window, so to look at you, I was like this. Tom is one of the best 3 or 4 actors I've ever worked with. And then you see, now you can't see me, so I can say it. See how this works?
Oh, okay, you got like the view from Star Trek.
like a dog when you cover its face.
Yeah.
No, genuinely, Tom's one of the best 3 or 4 actors I've ever worked with. I think he's brilliant, and you can tell from the moment you work with somebody. And yeah, I do agree. I think that Tom got shafted. Oh my God, I get in so much trouble. His character wasn't properly developed on Merlin, and Tom has been almost incredibly successful in terms of like, a lot of. Where am I going? Where am I going with this?
I don't care. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. Genuinely, you're gonna love how Tom is in Cold. I mean, he's got about 4 or 5 projects coming up, and Tom is going to be one of those actors you see and go, "Wow, you're brilliant," and he's going to do a lot of different things. And I genuinely think Tom's an exceptionally good actor, which otherwise I wouldn't have made Cold and put in this much effort into making a film like this, which is an acting piece, a dramatic piece. If I didn't think Tom was good, then I wouldn't have done it. And I don't want to be disrespectful or disingenuous to anyone else I've ever worked with, but there was a reason why I wanted to work specifically with Tom. Not just because we get on very well, because I have loads of best friends, doesn't mean I want to make a film with them, but Tom is genuinely an exceptionally talented actor, and that's why I wrote the film for him, and you will see that. So yeah, and also you don't see your muscles in this film.
Nope.
No.
Keep them.
You slimmed down.
So it says, and Tom, this is still Anya Barwold. It says, and Tom, could you describe how Owen works as a producer? So I assume you're saying as a producer and as a director. As a producer, he's brilliant because he's really open to discussion. Thank God he's done that.
Makes it easier for you to talk about great.
Absolutely.
Act like I'm not here.
Okay, sure. I got this. He's very hard to deal with in interview situations. So he's breathing his breath on me right now. He's the good thing about Owen as a producer is he is very easy to approach with any issues you have. I mean, it's also about the whole Indiegogo thing. I mean, that was all Owen's idea, and to create something like that is no easy task, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of passion, and that's the one thing that I love about Owen is his passion, his ability to get things done much better than I have. You know, I sort of talk about doing stuff a lot, and I go, oh, it'd be good if I could do this. Owen's a doer, and he just gets it done. And projects like this, they give me the opportunity as an actor to do a role like this. Wouldn't come about without people like Owen. So I think it's great that he exists in this industry. I think there's a huge future for Owen as a producer as well as a writer-director.
If you didn't know before watching this interview, we get on very well. And it's a mutual exclusive friendship club, really. This makes us two of us sound
friendship
like,
club.
I love you more.
No, I love you more.
Yeah. Move on, next question. People are going to hate us.
Here we go. Okay, from Kathy M. Do you see yourself and Tom coming back to Australia to promote the show Cold?
We would love to,
yes,
but
we'd love to.
I would like a stipend to visit this country because it is the most expensive city in the
Really
history of
pricey.
the planet. I saw a car park up the road, right? Now, I don't know where exactly we are in Sydney, whether this is a posh area or not, but it was $65 a day for a daily parking rate.
What's that in pounds?
About 52 or 50 something, 50 odd, maybe
Sydney,
40,
you
50
are
odd.
pricey.
Yeah, maybe it's
Well,
maybe it's
pricey.
44 or something like that. I've just made up 44. I've just pulled 44 out.
Got out of the bag, yeah.
We'd love to come back to promote Cold. Going back to the Adelaide question, and I know there's a big film festival in Sydney and Melbourne, and that was initially how we got involved in Supernova because of the Melbourne, the Monster Fest, the horror film festival in Melbourne, and we both loved it. Maybe it's Adelaide. Oh, sorry, Monster Fest was in Adelaide. I would love to come back, and we both love to come back.
Definitely. I think, and as well, the people here are very supportive, what we've noticed, and very willing to, you know, give us their time to watch the film and stuff. And
well, they haven't really given us the time to watch the film.
Well, not
They
yet.
haven't watched it, so we hope they'll take the time to watch it.
Yeah.
Can I say, by the way, if anyone starts watching this film and gets up and goes to the toilet or pauses it, or just generally does stuff, I'll know, and that'll annoy me.
There you go.
To sit down and watch it all the way through without any talking. No talking.
No talking. D Chan. Where are you from, D Chan? I think it's so great, difficult con. Where is the question, D Chan?
There.
Okay, here we go.
You get to choose the one you want, because we do have to get on to the next few questions, because we're running out of time. So we've got a couple more here.
Let's do that. What's your favourite part in this industry? Being an actor or being a director? I know it's very different, but you maybe have a preference for one of them.
I
Good
don't.
question, actually.
I don't. I've been asked this question quite a lot, and I have no real answer to this because I don't. And it's also a difficult question to answer because if I start saying that I prefer to be a director, then I might not get any acting jobs.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised because I know it's a serious thing because
Yeah.
a few of my peers, when I started trying to direct and stuff, and I've done the same when actors decide they want to write and direct, you do have a different impression of them. And sometimes people go, well, you're no longer an actor, you're now a director. I don't. I just want to make films, and I'll happily do lighting for people or whatever. I want to write, direct, act. I just want to make films. And I love acting, and I am an actor. And it's only because I'm an actor I can direct, because I met Tom through an acting job. Every actor in Cold is somebody I've worked with as an actor on a job. From myself and Jack did Cú Chulainn for Gary Shore, who's doing the new Dracula thing. Jack's now doing Transformers. We met on an acting job. Myself and Yari met on an acting job. I've met everyone. Myself and
Even
Malia,
to
Rebecca, myself and Rebecca and Malia. We worked on Mike Figgis's film. Everyone I've met has been someone I actually worked with.
Even Laura. Laura's like, you did cookies with Laura.
I did cookies, Laura. Yeah.
Like everyone.
Everyone's been someone I met on an acting job. So it's not. I couldn't actually make these films and direct this way if I wasn't an actor.
Boom.
I think that might be the card done. Oh, I gotta change card. Okay, it's recording. We only have time for a few more questions. That's not a question. That's with that. No, it's already been answered. It's in a question. No, it's not a question. If there was a song that summed up either the experience of making Cold or the mood of the film itself, what song would it be and why?
It would be an Evora song.
Yeah, good
Sure.
answer. It would definitely be an Evora song, and I think if you download or get the Evora's album, you realise a lot of the film was written with the Evora music playing.
For me, the song of the film and what sums up Cold for me is a song by Evora called Fall Away. which is used in the film in a very sort of pinnacle
Yeah.
part, and I think that sums it up for me. I think whenever I hear that song, I think of the film and I think of my experience on Cold, which is weird because I didn't even hear the song until I saw the film.
Yeah.
But it kind of sums up the whole making of it and everything, really, which is bizarre.
It would be Fall Away or their other song on the album called Meet Me by the Water, which almost sounds like it was written for the film, but it wasn't. But unfortunately, that song isn't actually used in the film, and I wanted it to be. But Kevin Williams did this amazing soundtrack, so it was hard getting the balance right between the Ivors music and then the actual score. Fall Away, yeah, or else Meet Me by the Water on the Ivors album. But yeah, Fall Away, you're correct.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Nope. Didn't bring the Smurf. Sorry, Muriel Wolf. Didn't bring the Smurf for the interview. He didn't seem appropriate because the Smurf was never involved in Cold. He felt a bit like an imposter.
Yeah, wasn't there? Pros and cons does. Yeah, my question is, how do you feel
From Sarah
retrospectively about crowdsourcing this venture? Pros and cons, do's and don'ts, lessons learnt.
You're going to leave me to answer this one. I love this. Yeah, great.
Well, yeah, it's kind of you were the main man for this. Really.
Oh God, it's quite sunny now, isn't it? Myself and Tom are about to do a bridge climb in Sydney Bridge, and it's actually really sunny. We're doing
nice.
Quite shortly.
Because it's been raining the last week. It's been here.
Crap. Sydney's been great. The weather's been crap. To be honest, the Indiegogo thing has been great. I probably would have structured it differently in terms of if I knew how successful and how interested people would be. I probably would have done it before we made the film, and then done the film in one straight block of 2 or 3 weeks. Which would
probably put it out much before,
sooner.
I suppose. Yeah, much sooner, so it could develop over a long period of time.
Yeah, probably, and then also allowed us more time to prep. We had no time to prep this film, partly because Tom was going on to Black Sails. I ended up doing my pilot. We finished Merlin. We
were shooting. In fact, the first week we shot, we were still shooting Merlin, which was.
We finished shooting Merlin on a Thursday. I flew back to Dublin on Thursday night. We got all the gear on Friday. We actually filmed on Friday evening on the way down to Clare. We shot that whole next 9 days. Finished shooting on Sunday morning. Came back up to Dublin. Got a plane to Wales and shot Merlin on Monday morning. And we were making a decision as to whether or not we should actually shoot, because it was like a 9 day. We had 9 days off from Merlin in the whole 8 months. That was a 9 day period. And if we hadn't, it was a decision as to whether or not we should do it, because it was a lot of hard work. And if we didn't do it those 9 days, we might never have made the film, because we didn't end up having the 3 weeks when we finished Merlin as a block to make the film. So I think the pros are the fact that it helped us do the second block, because the first block had been shot, but the second block would have been very difficult financially, and also it showed us the level of interest that people had, and we were like, oh cool, people are going to want to see this film. We're not complete morons. So so the fact that you guys already want to see it is a huge source of pride, and it's great for us to know that there's people who want to see it.
And it gave us an extra passion to when that sort of extra help came in for the film, it gave us an extra boost and passion to think, right, well, we've got a reason to get this done and done well now. So I think the whole crowdfunding thing is overall a pretty cool thing. Yeah,
pretty cool idea, crowdfunding.
On the coast gone.
3.
Oh no.
Just filling in the old password on the iPad, getting it right. Fuck.
There we go.
Hey. Right, we're going to have time for one more question.
Okay, one more.
No, it's not a question. It's also not a question. No, the question's been answered. Sorry if I'm skipping over questions because it's been kind of already asked. Apart from the things this is from Irene Goth. Apart from the things you've done as part of filming, what's the most adventurous thing you've ever done? By the way, before I did actually just put on Twitter 15 minutes ago. If you have any questions for myself and Tom, please tell us them. And I've completely ignored my phone.
Okay, shall we do those? Let's answer this one quickly and then just do like a few on Twitter.
Okay.
Okay. What's the most adventurous thing we've done? Probably the bridge climb I'm about to do.
We haven't done it yet, but by the time you watch this video, we will have done the bridge climb.
The bridge climb.
She's probably done the bridge climb. But the kids the probably school tours do the bridge climb. We're like, bridge climb.
Oh, it's the bridge climb. I saw the British Lions do the bridge climb in a video recently.
Is this actually quite a cool thing to do? I'm just doing it because Tom said, "Do you want to do a bridge climb?" I was like,
Also, probably the most adventure thing. I moved to.
You moved house.
I moved house once. That was good. Challenging. No, I moved to. I sort of went to LA on a whim, and moved there. And me and my girlfriend basically just went. Yeah,
I do realise I'm saying you and your girlfriend. Everyone stopped watching this video now. They've gone. Oh, he has a girlfriend.
They know I've got
off.
a girlfriend.
No one. Oh God. Yeah, they thought
LJ_Higgins.
They thought she was fake.
Twitter.
I thought she was your sister.
She's a bit too short to be my sister.
I
think. But yeah, that was pretty adventurous.
Right.
For me.
Well, I'm going to grab a quick couple of questions off Twitter real
Let's go
quick.
to Twitter now.
Off Jojo. Since you guys were on Merlin together, we were. Congratulations. Are there any references to Merlin on Cold? No. For many reasons. One, because it's a very different type of movie. It's a film, and also we don't own the rights to Merlin, and we would get sued.
I've just thought of something. Aren't these people expecting us to answer them on Twitter?
No, I kind of vaguely said the question will be in our
If you want to ask me,
might make our filmed Q&A type thingy.
like our film question might make up. Okay, cool.
I said
so we need to say their Twitter name, don't we?
Yeah, I did say Jojo.
Oh, sorry, Jojo. Did you?
And I said if you want to ask myself and Tom or perhaps some questions on Cold, tweet us now, and your question might make our filmed Q&A type thingy. So basically, it was very loose.
Okay, cool. So we're good.
So
for a good question.
Tori Stanley, Tori B Pinky.
How did Cold come to mind?
Actually, because of a conversation myself and Tom had on set in Series 4, I think in August or September, when we were talking about what characters we'd most like to play, and Tom mentioned he'd like to play Lenny from Mice and Men. And purely, serendipitously I guess you might say, I was reading East of Eden at the time, which is also written by Steinbeck, and I thought about it, and I love East of Eden, and Tom wanted to play Lenny of Mice and Men type character, so I incorporated the two ideas and began to write a couple of scenes based off these two brothers, with Tom's character being a Lenny in like Mice and Men. I don't think that's even sure if they are brothers in Mice and Men. They're not.
They are.
In Mice and Men,
Aren't they?
In Mice
Lenny
and
and
Men.
George.
They're brothers.
I think they are brothers, aren't they? I thought they were.
God, so basically I completely robbed everything. No, and then I just started writing this idea of these two brothers in Ireland and banged a few scenes to Tom and said, what do you think? And then we spoke about it, and then I was like, oh, I'll make a film. He's like, okay.
And that was it. Yeah. Cold was born.
That was a good question, actually.
Yeah. The film called Challenge.
That's great.
What was that? You're obviously close friends. How was it portraying the dynamic of estranged brothers for the film?
Check it's filming. Yes, still filming. Ugh. God, I wish I had a deep
I think it actually helped that you are friends and know each other pretty well. 'Cause by the time we made the film, me and Owen had worked with each other very closely and as friends as well. So we knew each other.
It's known you for ages.
A long time.
Yeah.
And you know, the more time you spend with each other, the more you know each other. I think that creates a brotherly relationship. So luckily we didn't have to push too hard, I feel, to create that closeness. It was sort of something that came quite naturally in the end, didn't it? Like,
yeah, well, because we've acted together so often and been, we didn't really have to go and have coffee and get to know each other. It wasn't like Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams on Blue Valentine when they needed to hang out and get to know each other.
I didn't know about that.
Well, they did. Well, but, they had to play lovers to know each other. So
okay.
We didn't need to do that.
Which helped because we were filming it in 10 days.
Well, no, because we already knew each other. We already kind of, I guess, not that we have a shorthand, because we don't have a shorthand. Now I feel like we should have a shorthand. But we are comfortable, acting together, and I think that basically is kind of what being brothers and sisters would be like. I don't have any brothers, he does. Oh, I need to change the question. I'm just bollocked on again. Good question, though.
Good question. Sorry if that was a bad... No, we answered that.
That's
okay.
From Alexandra _1095, Alex, was it difficult for you two to transition from Merlin to Cold?
Not particularly. I mean, because we've been working on Cold in our heads and stuff, so we're almost more in our heads for Cold while we were... Because I think by the time we were shooting Merlin, just before we shot Cold, we were doing a lot of scenes where we were sort of standing in the background of shot and stuff, so we had a lot of time to to really work on Cold. So our heads were already really in that zone of those characters. So when we went over to Ireland to shoot it, we were, you know, right there ready to do it. And
basically, you're saying while we're being paid to work on Merlin,
I was
in character.
Percival for a little while was Tom from Cold.
He was actually from
It was a little similar
You do little
expressions.
things in the background, do little experiments.
Owen would look at me and go, "Are you playing Tom right now?"
I remember that. Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
I think I am.
That did happen, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was after the first one.
And then
wasn't
we got back. Actually, we got back to shooting.
Yeah.
Me and Owen had like some scenes together as soon as we got back. I think it was like from episodes 12 and 13, I think. And it was very bizarre going back to Gawain and Percival after
we actually went straight to scenes.
Yeah,
didn't we?
straight in.
We
Like,
actually
this
went
is
straight.
weird.
We went straight from 9 days of Tom and Jack, which are our characters in Cold,
and doing it so
to a
intensely,
whole
like
week
living
and a
these
half.
characters.
Yeah, we'd never in a year and a half had that much as just Gawain and Percival. And then suddenly we got given these scripts. Literally, we got given these scripts a week before we went off to do Cold, which were the final couple of episodes of Merlin. Because the way they shot 12 and 13 before.
Yeah.
And they shot 12 and 13 before, it was 10 and 11. And all of a sudden we had two
Gawain and Percival.
two
Gawain and
episodes
Percival,
of Gawain and Percival. And Henry was doing the sound.
Oh, that's right.
And
Our
Henry-
sound guy from Cold came and did the sound on Merlin immediately after.
And suddenly it was like, we're standing there in our Merlin gear. Basically, myself and Tom were really funny for the last 2 minutes, and that's why I was getting up and checking the camera. It was at one time the camera stopped. And to recreate exactly, pretend we're actors.
God, that's tough.
To recreate exactly what just happened, we were talking about how the sound guy from
The sound guy on Merlin.
seamless cut.
Yeah, the sound guy on Merlin was actually our sound guy on Cold, and we came back to do Merlin, and
You're trying to
there he was.
remember what
Trying to
you
remember what I
said.
said, and I was like, I'm repeating myself now.
This is what I said. How was that funny? What did I say? What way did I look? I looked this way. Basically, yeah, we ended up then coming back and doing these scenes with Gawain and Percival being quite emotional, that were quite similar in terms of we never had scenes together of that ilk, of that standard between just Gawain and Percival in the scenes. And then after spending all this time in Cold, suddenly we'd all these scenes with Gawain and Percival, and it was quite bizarre, really.
Very odd.
Also, so the last question we have from Twitter, last one we have time for, is from Audra Lou. Audra, why should Cold be on my list of hashtag must watch movies? Because myself and Tom are in it.
Bosh. There you go. That's exactly why.
Then you said next on Channel 5.
I know, I'm waiting for the moment.
Yeah, do it now.
Right, so no, do say, okay, that's all we have time for, blah, blah, blah.
So that's all we have time for, blah 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 blah.
That's the end of the Q&A. Hope you've enjoyed. Next on Channel 5, it's Home and Away.